Previous class we have seen what is setup time, what is hold time, what is sequential circuit, what do you mean by finite state machine, how it is being done, what is positive skew, negative skew, jitter, all those concepts we have seen. In today's class we'll concentrate on what are the sources. Now we know what is skew and jitter. Now we'll see what are the sources, different sources of this skew and jitter. Okay, now to understand that, now in general a perfect clock is defined as a periodic signal that simultaneously triggers various memory elements on a chip. However, due to a variety of process and environmental variations, a clock are not ideal. Now to illustrate this, let us refer to this figure. Okay, a high frequency clock is either provided from off chip or generated on chip. From a central point, the clock is distributed using multiple matched paths to low level sequential elements. Right, as shown in this figure, we have a clock source and it is being circulated to all the flip-flops or the resistors which are part of the integrated circuit. In this picture, two paths are shown. The clock path include the wiring and the associated distributed buffers required to drive, interconnect and loads. A key point to realize in clock distribution is that the absolute delay through a clock distribution path is not important. What matters is the relative arrival time at register points at end of each path. It is perfectly acceptable for clock signal to take multiple cycles to get from a central distribution point to a low level register as long as all the clocks arrive at the same time at all the registers on the chip. Actually, there are many reasons why two parallel paths don't result in exactly the same delay. The sources of clock uncertainty can be classified in several ways. First, error can be divided into two categories. First one is systematic, second one is random. In systematic error or systematic errors are normally identical from chip to chip and are predictable. That is, for instance, variation in total load capacitance of each clock path. Okay, that is one example. In principle, such errors can be modeled and corrected at a design time given sufficiently good model and simulators. Whereas in random errors are due to manufacturing variations that are difficult to model and eliminate. For instance, dopant fluctuations that result in threshold variations. It's very difficult. The clock net is usually by far the largest signal net on the chip. The simultaneously transition on the clock drivers induce noise in the power supply. This high speed effect does not create a time varying mismatch because it is the same at every clock cycle and affects each rising clock edge the same way. Okay, now let us see what are the different sources as I have listed here. First one is clock signal generation. Right, the generation of the clock signal itself causes jitter. A typical on chip clock generator, as described many times in this model, takes a low frequency reference clock signal and produces a high frequency global reference for processor, or it can be for controller also. Both require clock as a stimulus. The core of such generator is a voltage controlled oscillator, or in short VCO. This is an analog circuit sensitive to intrinsic device noise and power supply variations. Okay, this is with respect to clock signal generation as one of the source of appearance of skew and jitter. Next, we'll go for second point, that is manufacturing device variations. Distributed buffers are integral components of clock distribution networks. They are required to drive both the register loads and the global and local interconnects. The mismatching of devices in the buffers along multiple clock paths is critical to minimizing timing uncertainty. Unfortunately, as a result of process variations, the device parameters in the buffers vary along different paths, resulting in a static skew. Okay, next we'll see the third point, interconnect variations. Now, vertical and lateral dimension variations cause the interconnect capacitance. and resistance to vary across a chip. Since this variation is static, it causes skew between different paths. One important source of interconnect variation is the inter-delay dielectric, in short ILD, that is thickness variation. In the formation of aluminum interconnect, layers of silicon dioxide are interposed between layers of patterned metallization. Oxide is deposited over a layer of patterned metal feature, generally resulting in some remaining step height or surface topology. Okay, now this is with respect to interconnect variation. Now if we go to the environmental variation, that is fourth and fifth combination of both, it has two parts. Once again, environmental variation has two parts. Environmental variation probably are the most significant contribution to skew and jitter. The two major sources of environmental variations are temperature and power supply. Okay, the temperature variations has become an important issue with clock gating, where some part of the chip may be idle while the other part of the chip are fully active. Clock gating has been popular in recent years as a means to minimize power dissipation in idle module. Shutting off parts of the chip leads to large temperature variations. Since the device parameters such as threshold and mobility depend strongly on temperature, the buffer delay for clock distribution network can vary drastically from path to path. Okay, now coming to the second part of the environmental variations, that is power supply. Power supply variations, on the other hand, are the major sources of jitter in clock distribution network. The delay through buffers is a very strong function of power supply, as it directly affects the drive of the transistors. As with temperature, the power supply voltage is a strong function of the switching activity. Therefore, the buffer delay varies strongly from path to path. Power supply variations can be classified into slow or static and high frequency variations. Static power supply variations may result from fixed currents drawn from various models, while the high frequency variations result from instantaneous IR drops along the power grid due to fluctuations in switching activity. Inductive effects on the power supply also are a major concern since they cause voltage fluctuations. Now coming to the last cause, that is capacitive coupling. In changes in capacity load also contribute to timing uncertainty. There are two major sources of capacity load variations: coupling between the clock lines and adjacent signal wires, and a variation in gate capacitance. The clock network includes both interconnect and the gate capacitance of latches and resistors. Any coupling between the clock wire and adjacent signal results in timing uncertainty, since adjacent signal can transition in arbitrary directions and at arbitrary times. The exact coupling to the clock network is not fixed from cycle to cycle, causing jitter. Right? Now, these are some of the reasons for clock skew and jitter. I request all of you to please go through the text once again, try to clarify the doubts, go through the online content, please read it and clarify it. Okay, thank you.